I have a whole new team.
Seeing it already today with some of these rosters. Throws it up. Tyler Spencer. Touchdown.
Got a solid D line and O line.
That's right. Touchdown, Warriors. Starters complete this week. That connection might be a deadly one all the season. Touchdown, Warriors. Intercepted. Warriors gonna lock this one up. Or the backfield. I'll tell them one back is Groom. Groom's gonna go to the right side. Standing up, Brandon Groom. Down the stroke. Going down the field. Got his speed. He's ain't gonna catch him. Touchdown. Brandon Grooms and the Warriors. What a run. What a run. 70 yards to the end zone to increase the lead. You gotta love it here, Warriors. Brandon Groom's on this play. What a run. Longest run of the day to increase the Warrior lead. That's too easy. Press one back for the Warriors. CRAMM chaos. Little high, oh. There was no middle block. Volkenroth gonna pitch it back to Ant. Round zero, making an impact on this play. Big game, it's hard as a flag. Oh, he's saying Houston was out of bounds in the end zone. Little high again. Got him. Sacked. Oh, that's close. Intercepted in the stands. I don't know if you want the sack or not, man. Come on, it's not working. Say. Over that right side. Still going to stay. There's nothing to whistle yet. Stay just happy. Now we got a whistle, touchdown chaos, okay. Okay. Spinning around, back to the defense, gotta get this ball out. Slow chasing them down. Fine, well, this is gonna be way short, and with the pick. CRAMM. I'm gonna cram it right back in. 2 points. To 5 actually. So they gotta get a stop here. Rush coming. Oh, it might be a holder on the jersey.
Toss it up. Get over here, Joe.
Tay will get it. Tay will get the first. The hole was coming regardless. Version was picked. They recovered the kick, and now Tay have a chance. Moving around. Drop it back. It's 5 more time. Up and open. 2 of them. No! Against a chaos team. It may be the Buffalo Bills of this league this season. Coach, oh wow, Tay got Coach off. Back in the end zone, Houston got it. Touchdown, Chaos. 19-17. Wow. So close. Wait a minute. Don is saying Houston's flags were on wrong. Don's saying the flags weren't on properly. The play is called back. There is no score. Tay in the gun. It's going to go middle of the flow. Beautiful play. It ain't mattering anyways. Touchdown, Chaos. That'll do it. Keith will check it for confirmation. Confirmed. Chaos undefeated. 19-17. What a opening Saturday. What an opening Saturday it was, Ross Collins, here in the 2022 Washington County Flag Football League fall season. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's show. How do I frame this? There we go. That's a show. We got an old county drink on us. Some Miller Lite. It's a beautiful Wednesday night here at the studio. We're excited because week 1 is in the books. And yes, there was a Chaos Beast video I had in mind to make. Unfortunately, the concept I had did not work as well as I was hoping. So maybe another time, though. I'm going to try to do stuff like this all season. Let's have fun, just like old times. CRAMM. Man, what a time. I can't say it as loud because I broke my voice doing it. So I'm trying to at least 7 times, I think, too. That broke me, dude. That was just the most insane thing I've ever witnessed in my life. Join if you are interested. I got some guests who I'm trying to get on as well. Let me go ahead and check with them. I'm going to send those guys the links. Ross, how was your weekend?
All right.
Just all right?
My Saturday didn't go too great, but here we are.
Why is that? Were you one of the losers on Saturday?
Yeah.
Did you join the ranks of Bees and Chaos as the losers in the game Saturday?
Totally different game, but yeah, sure.
Did it feel like, though, you were playing against the Warriors in CRAMM Central, though?
No.
No? Okay, well, that's right. Anyways, anywho. Yeah, Coach Ross Collins, your new football career, your new football life. Hey, I'm glad you've stepped up for the kids, man.
What's about?
Exactly. And grow the next generation out there. I, on the other hand, I was in Greencastle on Saturday.
You got lost for a little while.
No, I did not get lost. I got distracted. There's a difference between me being lost and me being distracted. I'm very easily distracted. I never get lost. Well, some people might say I've been lost for a long time. Like that time I disappeared in the parking lot at South, supposedly on my birthday. That's a whole other ordeal, though. Let's talk about the weekend. We saw the games. We saw the interview we did with Josh Floyd about, what was that, a year and a half ago on a whole other different league show. That was the first time we saw Josh, was when he was a quarterback for Elite. And you, Ross, actually filmed every single Elite game that was filmed. So you're the historian of the Elite team.
There you go. It was fake.
And here he is now on the Warriors, the team that you helped found in 2016. And I ain't gonna lie to you, that offense, that connection, him and Zeke got instant chemistry. Tyler Spencer stepping up in there in the offense, getting involved.
Yeah, let's see Zeke back. Let's go.
Zeke looks like he hasn't lost a single step. He shows right back up on Saturday. He's been not really around much in Washington County. We did get a chance to see him back in May against the Misfits for the Warriors. He was at that game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, have not really had much of an opportunity to see him. You know, he's been just busy, man. A lot of us is busy nowadays, but he came out there and walked back on the field like it was still the Broad Axe Dynasty days. Like he was still the young Zeke out there on the field. But give credit to this Warriors team. There is a much stronger unit out there, Pauls, in terms of what they were compared to last year. This is a much stronger team and a team that I feel like seems like they have a goal. There's a destination at the end of this. And it does feel like there's dedication, which was something the Warriors were missing last year. And one could argue that maybe they're missing that back in the spring prior as well. I feel like this Warriors team back on track. But I got to know, and I got to ask, CRAMM, what do you think of this Warriors team, your upcoming opponent this weekend in Greencastle?
From looking back at a couple videos that Josh Floyd had posted from his video clips. I mean, it looks all right. I mean, it looks fairly all right. You know what I mean? But it's CRAMM. You know what I'm saying? So we still gotta show up. Still gotta play. Still gotta gel well together. So, I mean, with that being said, I mean, I'm looking forward to this game for honestly, I already know what X Dogs is gonna bring out. Not worried about them. Yeah, that's pretty much the team that I'm looking forward to facing off in the championship. I don't care about X Dogs. Smoke them in KFFL. We're gonna smoke them again in playoffs. So not really worried about them at all.
You've had a lot of success against the X Dogs of late.
I mean, X Dogs is gonna be X Dogs. Give them at the time, the chance. They don't pull flags. They make you pay. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be physical. You know what I mean? O-line, our offensive line definitely has to be physical. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the entire game, you know, their D line is like one of the most rotated D lines I've ever seen in flag history, besides X Dogs. Like that forward just rotates. If it ain't the forward that rotates it, Brady stays in, and the other three gonna rotate. Juck comes in, clogs up the middle. So it's a lot.
And you got to wonder what new dogs may be popping up this upcoming fall, because X Dogs in the fall always come out a whole different breed compared to what they are all year. This team comes ready for fall football because they treat it just like it is the old days of playing football when you're growing up, whether it be high school or college. Remember, the X Dogs were started out as a team that were a lot of guys that were teammates back in high school. And that whole background of football has been the one constant, consistent thing about them when it comes to playing this flag game. And we talk about it, nine-man as the sport right now is in an interesting era where you have a lot of different styles of players coming into the sport who have brought their offenses and their approach and their players into it. And you've seen a lot of different results. We talk about what Chris Boone did 5 years ago when he brought his offense up I-81. And within 2 months, he won an A championship in Hagerstown against a team that eventually won it all. We talk about Steve Dunham coming to Washington County over the weekend and what you and him and CRAMM Central did on Saturday in what was a game for the ages with chaos. You don't need to watch anything else except for that 46-minute video on my channel. 46 minutes. You're going to say, well, was that the second half? Was that like the 3 quarters? No, that was the final 6 minutes of the game plus post game.
Yeah.
It's like a championship game.
Yeah. That was a memorable game right there, man. Hats off to Chaos, everybody over there, start to finish. Fucking game was phenomenal as shit. I'm not gonna lie. I had to go back and I looked at the video, and right before fucking Steve tells me, the jump ball, I look at Joey and I say, yo, Blaze. So with the 2 wins on the day for Chaos, how many wins does that make them since they've been out? And Joey says like 8 or 9. I look at Joey and I said, no. I'll play later. Fucking touchdown, walk off. You know what I mean? So I spoke too soon for those guys, but did I have high hopes of them actually winning the game? And I mean, shit, I've been playing since 2016. 3 seconds left on the clock in flag game. I've never seen this shit happen. So me doing it personally to end the game was like, yo, that shit's big. You know what I mean? That was different for me. 3 seconds left on the fucking clock. 80-yard fucking bomb. We need 6 to win. Steve did it. I still had maybe 10 yards even running to the end zone after the tip ball. So I don't even remember looking behind me to make sure if anybody pulled my flag or anything. All I was looking for was for the fucking yellow cone. I mean, the orange cone, so I could stretch the ball across, get the 6. That's it. Other than that, all I know is like 4 or 5 defenders around me. I don't see shit else. So great play though. Definitely a great play. Some shit that was not drawn up. Some shit that is basically told in the huddle. Everybody straight to the end zone. Like going on a fucking free play and trying to get the defense to jump. And everybody just takes off straight to the end zone. And that shit happened.
That game, broke the live stream forever.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That's just crazy.
Bro, I didn't even know what to say other than CRAMM over and over and over. Because it's just, well, what else can you say? Who caught the touchdown? CRAMM. Who won the
CRAMM.
CRAMM.
Yeah.
That's all you can say.
That's all you can say is
like
CRAMM, bro.
2 years ago, when Program was saying it for the first time, CRAMM.
CRAMM.
Yeah, that's all you can say is CRAMM, bro. Like that shit.
Oh.
That shit was wild. And then you brought back a bigger memory with the Travis Motley situation against Wolverines and just win. That was an even crazier. That was even crazier right there. Like Motley's a goat too, for real. Great quarterback. I never really seen him play 9-man before, but an 8-man, fucking goat.
I'd like to see him come out and play 9-man sometime.
Yeah, he just got married, so I don't really know what's going on. A lot of guys is getting their kids prepared. I think this honestly might be my last year playing too. Next year I'll be putting my kids in football, so my Saturdays, whatever day my kids is gonna play on, will be taken up. So I look for a league, go around it, that way I can get my kids into this shit, man.
Life changes, man. Like we got to start thinking of after football, because as much as we want to play, there ain't going to be any way to play unless we take care of things off the field as well.
Right.
And so, I talked about at the beginning of the year, we're not really the young bucks we were one time today, as Kenny Diener would say back in the playground when we'd all play at Marty Snook.
Yeah.
We've gotten older. Most of us are in our 30s now at this point. And that sounds hard to believe because it just feels like yesterday we were all in our 20s, like early 20s, mid 20s. We were all just still playing on the field. We had some priorities, but, we still had time for football. And the one thing I think that meant most to me this past weekend was being able to see a lot of different talent, a lot of different players out there this weekend that have been in Washington County before, that have played for many years, that, may not have been there all the time the last few years, may not have been there when it was just KFFL last fall, may not have been there when it was this past spring, when it was hard to make it because there was so little time to make it on Sundays. But we still went out and played. I think what we saw this past weekend was a great display of what the Washington County Flag Football League community really is. And I was glad to see everybody come out there and play. It maybe people may say it's 5 teams. I've seen people kind of chuckle with that, but we had 5 teams in other leagues before. A couple of years ago, we won KFFL. It was only 5 teams. And I ain't gonna lie, that season was some of the most fun I ever had.
Yeah, many a time, man. Entering the KFFL with only 5 teams in the league. Shit. Made the best of it.
Yeah, to me, all it comes down to is the quality of games and what your postseason ends up like. If you got nothing but close games all year between 5 teams, that to me sounds like an awesome season.
Definitely.
But, I was really excited this past weekend to see the Warriors get the dub, also see CRAMM get the dub. That sets up a pretty big game on Saturday between these two squads. That game's set to kick off at about 11:30. I'm really looking forward to that game. So you guys actually will be off before you get a chance to sit and wait until the start of that game. Warriors, on the other hand, they got X-Dogs first at 9 a.m.
My opinion with that, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna take the Warriors. I'm gonna take Warriors, and the only reason why I'm taking Warriors, got a few guys that's over there that are dogs. From what I've seen from Josh's video highlight that he posted on his story. Not to mention, you got the sleeper receiver, tight end guy, and Tyler Spencer. You understand? So a lot of people, when they see Spencer lining up, like, man, he ain't getting the ball. He just repping for the starter or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? Until he gets the ball and make you look stupid, go up top on you for 6, or worse, take a slant to the house, and you look dumb. Now it's like, now you really got to play football because now you don't know who's going to get the ball. And I've witnessed that my first year coming into football. Anybody lining up at receiver, quarterback can get them the ball, they'll make you look stupid. So don't go to sleep. But I definitely got Warriors. I give them by 10. Warriors by 10. Saturday over the X-Dogs.
I think that's going to be a game that comes down to trench play and quarterback play. For the X-Dogs, this is going to be their opener, their first game since the CRAMM Central Championship game back in June. And I think they're going to come in there with a chip on their shoulder. It'll be their first game in Greencastle, I do believe. Remember, they weren't there during the spring of 19 when we played up there at the high school. So this will be their first time playing up there, at least with us. Maybe there was something else in the past, but I'm excited to see how they come out there. There's a lot of pride playing those early morning games. I know the Warriors are going to come ready to go. That's going to be a really exciting game. Ross and I will do some predictions on that one a little later on. But the biggest key to that one, in my opinion, is who is focused more on their opponent. Are the Warriors more thinking of the X-Dogs, or are they thinking of CRAMM Central? Is the X-Dogs thinking of the Warriors, or are they thinking of chaos right after that? You may say, we're focused on our opponent, but subconsciously sometimes thoughts of the next game do creep in the back of your head, especially as the first game does go on. You start to ask yourself a lot of questions. If you get up early, do I want to pull people? Do I want to rest a lot of guys and just wait for the next game? Or do I just want to keep running the score up and try to get more points? On the flip side of that, if you're getting beaten badly, do you just try to get out of the game and wait for the next one? Or do you just simply try to go out there and practice? What do you do? There's a lot of psychology to these kind of games, double headers, that nobody really thinks about, because in the moment, you don't realize it's actually there until you go in the game and you second guess yourself. You're questioning decisions. You're looking at personnel. You're thinking of the next game. This is a tournament-style weekend. Think of this as pool play. This is your pool play practice. You're getting ready for a tournament coming up. You got Sunday, but this is your Saturday. You got to think of the long game here, because it's not just this weekend. It's next weekend. It's the weekend afterwards. The next time you play them. Remember, this is just round 1. Everybody plays each other twice in the regular season. Some of you will see each other 3 times. That's a lot of chess game to prepare for, because nobody realizes
it's a lot different to play somebody in 12 quarters than it is for 4 quarters. And during a season like this, where you've got 2 meetings against each other, and you got a postseason meeting potentially as well, you got to think of not just the first quarter or the 4th quarter, or even the 8th quarter or the 10th. You got to think of the 12th quarter at the end when you're playing this team for a 3rd time for the championship, because what did you learn? What did they learn?
Yeah.
Chess.
Yeah, not fucking checkers.
We've seen it too. Like, sometimes you do got to be careful with what you do in these kind of games. You don't want to give up too early because you may end up losing the game. But you also don't want to take a risk and lose your starting quarterback for the season. And then all of a sudden, you only have about 5 seconds to think of who the backup is for now and the next game, because it's right afterwards. Or maybe it's an hour from now. Doubleheaders are interesting because of the fact that there is a lot that goes into them in terms of prep. You're not preparing for 1 game, it's 2. Yep. What else? What did you think of Chaos this weekend going against them? Because they're going to be on the schedule as well against X-Dogs right after that.
I mean, Chaos, I got my respect. All respect. From the time that I haven't played with y'all since I came into the league, and I used to clown y'all from the time that I used to play with y'all, and people used to be like, yo, why you playing with them? I used to clown them. I ain't had no home, wanted to play ball. It was literally right after my injury from the KFFL when I collided with Chad Claggett. So I was definitely just trying to get back into the motion of football, period. So, but they definitely got my respect. No clowning shit, no funny shit. They definitely got my respect from after last Saturday's game. That was the most memorable game that y'all boys have given me. Real. That football has given me, period. Like, that right there, that's memorable classic shit right there. It's not too many games that I can remember, but that right there, top 5 games that I can fucking remember. And that's just not for me just scoring because it was 3 seconds left on the clock and I scored. Nah. Whether it was one of my teammates who scored, that was a fucking memorable game from start to fucking finish. Dead ass. Dead ass. I was a little shaky after the first quarter, wondering, trying to figure out what Steve's concept was as he's calling his plays up the top of his dome in the huddle. And I'm trying to think, like, what's his concept? What's his concept? What's his concept? And I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, I know where it's going at. It's the Steve that's, all right, cool. He about to talk his shit. He about to run it up. And I already know pretty much his offense. And that is, all right, cool. Look, we'll take the shot. The shot don't work on that play when we take the shot. Fuck it, we're going to dink and dunk. We're going to take the fucking shot again. So with that being said, that's exactly what we did. Dink and dunk. Took the shot with Polo. Dunked on Brady. Dink and dunk. Dink and dunk. I mean, honestly, Cranfield should have scored on that fucking slant. And then he could have scored on the post that came right back to him. But he got it down to our red zone. I think I scored in the second quarter or second half or something like that on the post route from the slot. And then, of course, the other 8 points from the pick 2 and then the game-winning touchdown. So.
You and your pick 2 on Tay there, that was beautiful, to say the least.
The pick two, I was honestly, it's funny as fuck.
Tay was running for his life for most of that game.
He definitely was. But on that pick 2, I was honestly worried about Florida. He was literally the only person that I was worried about. All I needed was just a block to seal on Tay. Everybody else was on the opposite side of the field. And it was literally just grass in front of me. So with Florida missing the flag, and I don't know, I mean, I got a fucking Megatron in front of me to look up at the fucking screen and shit, but I don't know where the fuck he went at. I just know that he missed flags. I hear Joppy on the sideline. He's slow. Someone catch him, and no one caught me. And then, of course, we get the flag because Abe had ran on the field before I had scored. And even if I did score, he was still going to run on the field and still got the flag thrown. But, I mean, that pick two right there, that pick two, I think, changed the game. Changed the game as far as for chaos when it came to them being mentally like, all right, cool, it's a game now. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't their wake up call for some of them. You know what I'm saying? Most of them say Black, Hatch, most of those veteran guys, you know what I'm saying, who played for that team, been in positions like that before. So 3 seconds down, left on the clock. We've been in that position before. Like shit, we was just in that same position uh, in the April Fool's tournament, Misfits versus the Lions, for us to tie the game. 21-21. You know what I mean? So we've been in positions like that before. And I mean, I wasn't the person who caught the touchdown. Larry was. Tay threw the ball. I mean, just great offensive line blocking. Like literally, I mean, difference was the play was just inside of our red zone for us to, tie the game up with a tie and pool play. You know what I mean? But if there was a time where we had an overtime in that game, I'm damn sure, pretty sure Memphis would have beat the Lions going in the overtime if that was the case. But that wasn't. So.
I'm gonna give a little insight. I really wish I was at the Misfits Lions game, but I didn't watch it on live. XFL tournament one. I wasn't there. You were there though.
I was there.
That game was tough.
Yeah.
What was your account of that one? Do you remember that?
Wild game.
Yeah.
That was a wild ass.
That was a wild game. Yeah.
Wild ass.
When he brought that up, I was like, I remember sitting there at some location just watching it on my phone.
Wild ass game.
Yeah.
I was pissed off.
That's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, 100%.
I was truly pissed off that game. We just had like defense and offensive plan lights the fuck out. We had like a few, I think, drop balls, a couple incomplete passes on the offensive side, like going into the second half. And Costa, like, I don't know what Costa was doing, but I guess like he started to figure out like that I'm just like some rookie fucking DB. Like that's how I felt because he was literally going fucking 5 wide receiver spread on one side of the fucking field and had me literally pinched in. Well, it was 4 receivers with the tight end on my side. And the tight end, he was literally just staying home to block. So I'm sitting there in the fucking box like, yo, what the fuck am I doing? Ain't no receiver coming over here. This tight end, he's literally about to block. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. He's still sending 4. I see a gap. I shoot the motherfucker and I sack Costa for my first A-bracket sack ever. And I'm like, all right, cool. I don't think I'm going to do that shit again because I seen Costa stepping up into the pocket. But nah, that's exactly what they wanted me to do. You know what I mean? I look at Larry, I look at Black, and I'm like, yo, bro, what am I supposed to do when they go into this offense? Because they literally trying to single me by myself, and they literally just trying to have the defense go that way. And then they got Jarvis, fast ass, coming all the way across the opposite side of the fucking field on a fucking Tyreek Hill post. You know what I mean? Just crossing literally right over top of my fucking head. So he's literally trying to hit him like 15 yards behind my head if I don't drop back. You know what I mean? Because I still have to also play a zone man type of look. You know what I mean? With the tight end right there that's looking like he's ready to leak out and shit. So weird fucking shit. First A-bracket tournament ever. That shit was weird.
I'm about to say, you've had a tough year in A, but I feel like a lot of it's been scheme issues on the defensive side at times. I felt like when I was watching you against South Jersey at Charm City, shout out Mike D, who was watching at some point. You needed more help on that side. And that's not on like anybody, but just like at times, just communication, making sure everybody's in place. I think you've done a great job coming into A so far. It's tough. It's a hard transition, especially when you've been playing mostly B and KFFL at times.
So one thing I can tell you, if you want to go from B bracket to A bracket, but you're a receiver, well, from a DB standpoint, playing DB and A ain't no different from playing DB and B. Difference is the B bracket receivers, they're not gonna cry about getting hit. These A bracket receivers that play different 5-man, 7-man styles and shit like that, they cry about getting hit. Body up with them one time. I promise you're gonna see them in the slot on the opposite side of the fucking field, lined up somewhere else in front of a DB who's not so much as aggressive as me. You know what I mean?
That's
3
how
to
you
5
know
yards.
a non-contact player and a contact player.
Most definitely. But that fucking receiver from fucking the Ducks, bro. He like 6'5", 6'6", like 240. The ball that he scored on me on that jump ball, that one-handed catch, phenomenal catch. I was there. Stride for stride, pressed him. He didn't get off the jam. It's just Mike D throwing the ball. I don't give a fuck what receiver runs that route. Joey, you can run that route. If Mike D throwing you the ball, you're gonna go get it. It's Mike fucking D. We talking about the fucking goat of 9-man throwing the fucking rock. You know what I mean? Like, it's Mike D throwing the ball. I'm not mad at that at all. I can give 2 fucks. I can care less. You know what I mean? It's Mike D throwing the ball. It could have been anybody out there. Fucking Pee Wee Herman for all I fucking care. Anybody would have caught that. Anybody would have caught that shit, man. Like, it's fucking Mike D, bro.
Look,
Pee Wee Herman.
look, look. I almost picked off Mike D once when I was playing for Knights against BC. I just wasn't fast enough, tall enough, or quick enough to get to the ball in time, or I would have gotten it.
I know what they Mike D still watching this shit. I'm gonna pick your ass off. That fucking video. That's the only video that's been haunting me, yo. I swear to God, I look back at that shit all the time, bro. That fucking video haunts me because he really snagged that bitch one-handed on top of my head. I've never been fucking dunked on and flagged a day in my life. A day in my life. And I let this fucking New Jersey ass nigga fucking dunk on me. Not no nigga from back home. Nah, some out of town ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? This out of town ass nigga. You know who I'm talking about too. You feel me? That motherfucker even had the nerve to add me on Facebook after that fucking tournament too, man. After he dunked on me. Fucking disrespectful ass nigga, yo.
When's the next? Is Clash of York even happening? Anybody know? I want to go to a tournament again soon. It's been a minute.
If it does happen, I mean, I don't think a lot of Maryland teams is going to enter into it. A lot of people don't really like. I don't, you know me. I don't backbite nobody, but a lot of people say they don't fuck with the host of the situation, which is cool and all. I don't have an issue with it, and it never stirred me wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem with it. But a lot of team owners don't like the way how you run the tournament. I guess they don't like the fact that playing in an open bracket. So what? It's an open bracket. You got a few A bracket teams.
I'm actually in favor. I'm in favor of more open bracket tournaments. Like, I'm a huge proponent of that. I think open bracket makes it more interesting, and it's never a lock that an A team will win it. And you know, Clash of York is the best example of that. The first 2 years of Clash of York was not won by an A team per se. Now you could argue Rampage the month after they won Clash won A and Capital Classic, so that would qualify as an A team. But it wasn't a case where the A teams had a guarantee to win. Even Clash of York 2, Renegades beat Scorpions and Aftermath, the 2 A teams in the region that year back to back to win it.
I think Drew Terry said it the best. I mean, for the Ducks went what? B bracket and AC, Atlantic City tournament. They won that, and then they moved up to A for the Charm City. And as Drew Terry said in the 9-man paper, it's like, what's crazy is the B bracket teams, they definitely gonna give you more bump. They definitely gonna give you more physicalness than the A bracket is. You know what I'm saying? A bracket, as far as physical, it's just the trench work. You know what I mean? If you ain't got the trenches in the A bracket, don't take your ass up there.
It's
if
tough.
You ain't got the bodies in B with linemen. Don't take your ass out there neither. You know what I mean? Like that's the biggest thing. You know what I mean? League play is trenches. You know what I mean? You got a solid trench, you can do some shit. You got a solid quarterback, think and dunk, or like to showcase his arm, however he can do it. That's cool. You can do that. But other than that, shit, it comes down to the trenches, bro. All the brackets is the same to me. Honestly, I played in both B and A so far. I just don't like the A bracket players as far as receivers. They cry too much when they get hit, flag pulled. They think that dip is going to save them and hip twisting. That shit don't save you. For a nigga like me, I'm coming down, I'm putting this 170 on you.
I'll be honest. I'll let you in on something. we've been keeping data of every single 9-man team's wins, losses, and results for this year. And we're going to probably, once we finish that at the end of November, once Capital, Rhode Island, and regular season passes, we're going to do a hypothetical March Madness tournament to discuss who we think would win in a 64-team open bracket tournament of the top 64 teams based on achievement this year. Because last year when we did it, the one thing I thought about was the final four of that B bracket and how in that final four you had no excuses. Who, when I did the same rankings last year, finished 44th because all they did was play league ball in South Florida. So
that's why I was wondering, like, who the fuck is no excuse? You talking about the South Florida team? I think I watched a little bit of film on them too.
Yeah, they're the one who beat Rampage on Sunday in the quarterfinals, and they, I believe, lost to. I want to say they lost to PME in the semifinals.
Either them or the Spartans, because I think either one of them had played the Spartans.
Yeah, I think they lost to PME in the semis. But they were a team that nobody knew anything about going into nationals unless you happened to play them in South Florida or if you happened to play them at last nationals, which only 3 teams did that year. And they ended up making a run in that nationals tournament and finishing in the final four. You could argue they were the number 3 team in B at the end of it. We never did the final math on the rankings last year at the nationals, but they finished pretty highly in my eyes. Talking about no excuses and how they beat Rampage and made a big run last nationals. Like when I looked at it statistically, it was almost the equivalent to in March Madness if, say, a number 13 seed beat the 1 seed in the Elite 8.
Right.
And there's a lot of teams, I feel like, in 9-man across the country that fly under the radar because of the fact that nobody knows anything about them. Because even though a lot of us play in different leagues and we play on different teams at different tournaments, we don't know much about what goes on outside of what we go to in our area, the teams we have, or anything like that. That's the one blessing of social media. I feel like it's been bringing the whole community together to where you can, you can tune in on a Saturday this fall. You can find me, Joey Blaze, live from Washington County Flag Football. You can tune in the next morning for Maffle. The Powell brothers being live down there for their games as the league played there, or even out in St. Louis. Skinny goes live every Sunday for Arch City Flag Football and St. Louis 9-man all year.
They be lit out there.
St. Louis, there's a place I want to make a pilgrimage to one day. I want to go out there for playoff week just to be part of the atmosphere and everything else.
Yeah, it's definitely different out there.
It's a big deal because, you think about it, they don't get a lot of competition out of town. But, in the rankings we do, we count everything. We count league ball, we count tournaments, circuit, and open. Now you're going to say, how do you do that? Everything's weighed. A bracket, obviously, that's weighed the highest. That's the most you'll get. Now B wins. That's secondary. After that, it's league and open tournaments because open tournaments are just kind of like league ball, but if you were to have a certain pool of teams play, they're not usually on the same level as a 9-man circuit tournament would be. Like Clash of York, great tournament, but it's not AC and it's not Charm City in that regard. It's a whole different beast when you go out to those kind of things.
Yeah, that's just something to keep motherfuckers busy. That's it.
And, that's something we're going to look forward to when we do it. And we talk about it. The St. Louis Spartans, they got out there this year. They played in Atlanta down there with Rideout, FOE. There was another team who was made from Alabama for that. I can't do the initials right offhand. I think it's FGB or something like that. They went down there and did that Atlanta tournament. I was happy to see that. I just see 9-man keep growing in the South. I'd like to see Nine keep going here in the tri-state region or four-state, because Virginia is still part of the family out here. But I'm looking forward to seeing what goes on this Saturday in Washington County because we got a lot of good games on hand. Max Dogs Chaos, as you know, second game of the day. What are your thoughts on that one, Graham?
Xbox with Chaos. They bring that same team out that played last weekend. Maybe whatever guys that's missing that didn't show up. They got a chance. O-line just gotta get Tay just that extra second. You know what I mean? Because Tay's making his first read and he's not able to make his second. Usually Tay's able to make his first, second. If not, he's taking off. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping his eyes out outside the pocket to create something. So give him that extra little bit of time, man. He'll create that. You know what I'm saying? Standing inside the pocket. Give him that extra second. Just he'll make it work. On that end, Chaos got a body up on the defensive side of the ball. Elon is where it's gonna come down to for real, honestly. So with that, that's a tough game. That's a tough two. That's a tough pick right there. I'm gonna go with the veteran Matt. I like them, but I'm going to say X Dogs by 3. That's it. I'm going to say X Dogs by 3. Chaos play the same way how they played last week. X Dogs by 3. Shit, hell, they might even lose this game. It might be an upset. I can see an upset coming too. This is a very unpredictable game right here. This is no man's land. I'm gonna take X Dogs with this one. This one, Matt. I like Matt. I like what he does with the offense. He's a scheme guy. He's a concept guy. He's like a fucking freestyle battle rap artist, punchline, and just gonna set you up for it. So I'm gonna go with Matt. I'm gonna take Matt.
I'm going to run your pictures on it later, but that to me, all 3 of these games really are game of the weeks. Like they're loaded this week when you talk about the competition, the talent on all teams. Well, and Chaos is a little under the radar for this week, but in my eyes, that's just as good as the other 2 games.
All
right. Third game of the day. It's going to be your team, CRAMM Central against the Warriors. How do you game plan for Josh Floyd? You 2 were a great connection at Ocean City. I saw you guys making magic out there for 7-1-7, a lead against Rideout.
Yeah, we was fucking right out there. We was fucking bad boys up too. Man, until fucking Eddie fucking Thomas comes up with this pick and right between fucking D Hop and JJ, both boys from Baez. And from that, it was just a bad ending from that point, man. He was up 2 touchdowns going in the half. So that's how that happened. Game planning for Josh. I know what he's gonna do. If you watching this shit, I know what you're gonna do, nigga. You know what I mean? I know your concept. I know what you like to run. I know your setups. I know your way of thinking. So take his go-to receiver out the game. When you find his go-to receiver, because Josh is not a selfish quarterback. Josh that dude, whoever eating, that's who he gonna hit. And as far as what I saw last week, Zeke was his guy, but that might be this week. It might not be this week. Zeke might not be his guy this week. He's gonna have to throw some well. Because I'll be guarding Zeke. So you're gonna have to throw that shit some well. That's what I'm saying. No screens is working. That screen shit not working. Fresh man, everybody, let me know what we're doing. That's what we played against Chaos. And we played fucking 5 to 10 yards off and fucking man and still won again. The receivers was dropping the ball off of fucking screens and pitches. It should be horrible. Even a wide open touchdown was even dropped. We're gonna talk about that anyway. Shit was just horrible. I guess first week everybody working up the keys. Week 2, make sure y'all bring your hands, gloves, mittens, whatever the fuck you need to catch the ball. See some real fucking football. Chaos and CRAMM last week. By far, game of the week last week. performance of both teams. So this week, CRAMM Warriors. We got Warriors. We beat them by 14. We keep Josh in the box. Make him throw the ball. That's what he wants to do. He wants to play quarterback. So make him throw the fucking rock. That's what we're going to do. We're going to collapse. We're going to be there. We're going to get there. We want to keep him inside the pocket. We know he can run. But I also know Josh does not like to run. He will run, but he's not going to take off unless he got to. So we keep him inside the pocket. We flush his ass, body up, full flag. Other than that, the concept that he's going to run, simple. Talk about that to my guys in the group chat after this live, because that shit is really simple. Pretty much a younger, the black Andy Hoffman, bald head Andy Hoffman. You know what I mean? Like that's what Josh said. That's his concept. You know what I mean? Short, quick shit, get the ball out to the playmakers, you know what I mean? Or at least try, you know what I mean? And make them guys do their work. Other than that, that's it. We're gonna play. We're gonna play football. It's gonna be definitely a good game. Defensive side for the Warriors. Play y'all ball. Play y'all game. That's all I can say. Bring out shit. Bring out shit with y'all. That's all I'm saying. Leave that shit on the field. You know what I mean? Just bring y'all game. That's all I can tell y'all for as far as what we're gonna do. We're gonna score. We're gonna drive the ball. We're gonna move the ball on both sides of the fucking field. Don't throw that shit my way. Because you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pick that shit off. We're going back the other way.
100%.
That's it. That's all you got.
I'm disagreeing. I'm looking forward to this. I think that's going to be an interesting matchup. It's going to be Josh versus CRAMM because of the fact that they know each other like that. They played with each other 7-7 in the lead. And
that ball head motherfucker was really supposed to be my quarterback, but my other captains on the team, like Steve. So we went with Steve, and that's the choice that we decided. And I agree with that choice. You know what I mean? Josh had other plans. You know, he decided that he wanted to play with the Warriors, and I'm cool with that. That's still bro. But he already know what I'm gonna do. He know what's up.
I'm looking forward to this game. That's going to be the final game of the day on Saturday. An 11:30 kickoff. Warriors versus CRAMM Central. First ever meeting between these two franchises.
Technically speaking.
Under these names. All right, CRAMM, anything you got for us tonight?
Nah, man. That boys be safe. Y'all safe, man. Y'all niggas have a wonderful rest of the evening. You know what I mean? Rest of the week. Let's have some good football coming this Saturday. See y'all boys at the field, man.
Look forward to seeing you there. I'm looking forward to being there. I'll be there bright and early. Give me a nice Saturday morning up in Greencastle.
What time's the first game?
9 a.m. X-Dogs and Warriors.
Yeah, I'll still be asleep. Might catch me for the second one.
Speaking of schedule, let's get that out there right now. CRAMM, thank you for joining us, my man. We will see you in a little bit, as in Saturday, a little bit. Oh, there he goes. Bye. Tyler McKeon sharing a dog, or is it a fox? It's definitely a dog. I'm making up conspiracies. Let's get to the games schedule. First game, 9 a.m. X-Dogs and Warriors. For these two, they have met many a times in the Washington County Flag Football League.
You shared one of the greatest games of all time.
Let's go back to the history of X-Dogs Warriors. First meeting, fall of 16. Matt Eisenberg was not there. He was actually out due to injury. Got hurt in week 1 of that season. Didn't get to see the Warriors. George Nunn stepped in, no problem. X-Dogs 39-0 over the Warriors.
With no matter. Damn.
Yeah, trash. That's just, it's okay. Like, we didn't do well against, the same thing happened to us in our first season against X-Dogs.
When I say us, I mean the survivors. You know, that team. Yeah, you remember survivors?
Yeah, I do.
Maybe we should bring them back. What do you think of that idea? No? I think so. I want to do it. But I gotta play every position this time. Speaking of the next time the Warriors play the X Dogs, I'm pulling up the history because I remember one score and that was it off the top of my head. 2017, after the 39-0 loss the first time around, the Warriors gave it a second shot, only to lose again, 39-0. It was okay though, but through two games, they trailed 79 or 78-0. The next year, 2018, they met again. This time in North. Good old North High. This time around, the Warriors once again took a loss to the X-Dogs, this time 26-0. The next year after that, 2019, they faced off. This was a classic game. In fact, we shared it earlier today on the page. If you want to go back and watch it, that was number 1 versus number 2 going into that game. That was that season where the Warriors had upset ADR in week 1. They took over number 1 in the power rankings for a couple weeks. They ran into this X-Dogs team that stole the thunder, so to speak, as they beat them in overtime 10-7 in what was a very classic game. The next year they met in the regular season once again. This time it was Warriors 22-8. However, the last time they met was in 2020 in the Washington County Flag Football League quarterfinals, where the X-Dogs knocked off the Warriors 20-19. That was the game where the Warriors, they were up late in the fourth. They had a punt coming, and it was bobbled by Carlos Sanchez on the punt. And as a result, the X-Dogs got a first and goal at the 5. Matty Ice and them scored. They took the lead. Warriors and Kevin Clancy unable to respond. As a result, the Dogs got the win. They advanced to the semifinals. And the Warriors, after getting their first win on the X-Dogs in the beginning of the 2020 season, end up falling short to them in the playoffs. So all time between these two teams, this will be the 7th meeting coming into this. The X-Dogs lead 5-1. They have won 3 regular season games. I should say, 4 regular season games, 1 postseason game. Warriors' only win came in the 2020 regular season. This will be an interesting matchup. Ross, you're not allowed to pick this game, so I can't really ask your insight. Well, maybe I can now that you're actually out here. Cool.
My bad, dog.
There you go, dog. You're good. I know you're busy. So X-Dogs Warriors, who you got?
Saturday morning.
9 a.m.
This X-Dogs versus this Warriors.
Yeah, the new age Warriors versus the old age X-Dogs.
You said that, not me.
They know.
I got the Warriors.
You got the Warriors?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I think the X-Dogs have more than what the Warriors are bargaining for. I think the Dogs are coming out with some dogs that we're not even aware of yet.
That could be very cool.
I think there's something about this X-Dogs team we don't know. Be cautious. Be very, very cautious. My opinion, I'm going to go X-Dogs. Second game of the day. X-Dogs Chaos. Who you got? All-time meeting between these two, by the way. First meeting 2020. That was a game where Chaos was up on X-Dogs early on, but then Devin Redmond got injured running out of bounds, just shy of the end zone. The game went downhill from there. Chaos was not able to capitalize on the early momentum. As a result, they lost to the X-Dogs 21-18. The next meeting between those two would not come again until the next year in KFFL. Dogs got another one on Chaos in that one. In the season where Chaos had a hard time getting numbers in Keystone. The next season after that, in the spring, they met again twice in the regular season. Unfortunately for Chaos, they ended up taking both losses to them in the regular season. Last meeting was in the semifinals of the KFFL playoffs. It was 7-6 X-Dogs there. All time in the regular season in County and Keystone. It is an advantage of 4-0 in favor of the X-Dogs, 1-0 in the postseason, 5-0 overall. Yeah, it's not, but Chaos has been competitive. This has not been lopsided. They just haven't had a few games go their way. This is not them getting steamrolled.
I'm gonna go so.
I'm going to Chaos. I think Tay and company come out there ready to go. They got TJ Williams and the weaponry there. Hard to tell who else is coming. I think Chaos has made a lot of upgrades this season that bode well for them in the future.
Gonna be real mad they lost to the Warriors.
We'll see. I think it's going to be the opposite. I think they're going to be overconfident after beating the Warriors.
Just saying.
Final game of the day, CRAMM Central and Warriors. First all-time meeting between CRAMM and the Warriors.
Technically speaking.
Yeah, they never played each other.
Right. Technically.
CRAMM's a new team from KFFL.
Technically speaking.
They've never been in our league, dude. They've never played you guys. Anyways. Who you got?
Who you got?
Me? I'm going to go with CRAMM Central.
You too.
You got CRAMM Central as well? Okay. Well, we both got CRAMM.
Sitting that game.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's going to be a tough game because the Warriors are going to be on break.
After a tough game that fast. Yeah.
Yeah. I think CRAMM's going to be ready to go. I think CRAMM's going to have more weapons come this week. I guarantee it. They're not going to take the Warriors lightly. Nor should they.
I bet they do, though.
It's going to be a good week either way, though. I'm excited.
First game goes for them, too.
That's going to be the tough part.
No, I got the Warriors.
You got the Warriors?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
no matter how the first game goes, it's the Warriors now.
no matter.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see how it all goes this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. at Antrim Township Park, Greencastle, Pennsylvania. We'll be up there early on for some Washington County flag football live action. That's about it for tonight. Looks like nobody else wanted to call in. We got the Zoom link pinned, but no one's interested. So we're going to go ahead, sign off, head on for now. For Ross Collins and CRAMM Stanford, I'm Joey Blaze. We'll see you Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Antrim Township Park for Warriors versus the X-Dogs. See you then.